This guy might not be a scientist. He might just be like an old Amish guy.
Trying to signify that ghosts have 12-inch dongs.
You think he's gonna be able to wrap his head around that?
These knee slappers are going.
Welcome to Mystery Theories, the show that explores all matters of the mysterious, from the mundane to the downright problematic. I'm West, and tonight with my co-host CJ, we'll be diving into the mysteries of crop circles. In the end, you'll have the chance to cast your vote and decide which is the most convincing mystery theory. CJ, now this is our first episode that we've filmed since the channel went live. CJ, how are you feeling?
Feeling great. Ready to hear some more crazy theories.
Thanks to everyone to subscribing, except for the one schizophrenic furry that went into our Discord and trauma dumped a 17 post long post about why he didn't appreciate that we didn't agree with his specific take on the Titanic sinking. You know, guys, this is just like a fun thing we do in our free time, okay? I got a job, I'm going to school, and now I'm dealing with a schizophrenic furry trauma dumping about the Titanic in our Discord. We don't need that. If you're a cool dude, join the Discord. If you're a schizophrenic furry losing sleep at night, or whether or not Bigfoot's real, stay the fuck out of our Discord.
Oh, that's a great intro.
There's a lot of ways to communicate with people. 17-page trauma post on the Titanic in somebody's Discord probably isn't the best way to send a message. Another way to send a message could be through crop circles.
That's
We're diving into the mystery of crop circles.
awesome. Cool.
CJ, right off the bat, what do you know about crop circles?
Crop circles, supposedly, that is what an alien would leave in, of course, a cornfield or some sort of field that might look like symbols or like anything. Maybe they're trying to communicate with one another. Maybe they're trying to say a road map. Or maybe it's Jed and the boys out in the backyard stomping them, trying to be like, hey, there's aliens in my backyard.
Two of these are real crop circles, and then one of these is from a movie. Can you tell me which is which?
Yeah, so the one with the circles and then the main circle kind of looks...
Okay, we gotta be more specific than that, CJ.
I think the one with the pitchfork is from the movie Signs.
God damn it, yeah, you got it, CJ.
Yo, dude, I'm a horror movie buff. Of course that's from Signs.
I rewatched Signs in preparation for this. Not that helps at all, but it wasn't an excuse to watch. Dude, I don't care what anyone says about
That's
Signs.
a good movie.
I fucking love Signs. That movie's so good. All right, so let's go through the history of crop circles. First up, the mowing devil. It was a story that was printed in what was called a woodcut pamphlet. A farmer and his laborer had a dispute over the price of mowing his field of oats, and the farmer just flat out refused to pay the laborer's asking price. And he said that he'd rather the devil himself come and mow his field. And then that night, the farmer witnessed a strange and fiery light appear over the field, and the next morning, he found that the field had been neatly mowed in a circular pattern. The oats had been laid flat and like perfectly aligned, and the farmer said that no mortal man could have mowed that field so perfectly.
1678. That's crazy, dude. You know, if it was an alien, they would never know what a light source looked like, you know?
This is hundreds of years before there was any concept of alien life, like extraterrestrial life. So if you did encounter something like that, your only frame of reference would be to like call it like a devil thing.
That would be like us taking like a 2023 or 2024 vehicle, right? And then having the ability to go back in time, right when we're starting to pioneer. People would fucking lose their mind.
Can you imagine pulling up next to Christopher Columbus in a G-Wagon? You think he's going to be able to wrap his head around that? No. Next up is the Tully nest. So this is the first very well documented case of crop circles, including a picture, which you can see there. This is from 1966. So a banana farmer by the name of George Pedley was driving his tractor by a lagoon. He heard this hissing sound and he thought maybe he had sprung a leak in the tire. So he pulled over to investigate, and when he did, he witnessed a saucer rise out of the lagoon and then shoot off into the sky and disappear in a blue mist. When he investigated the lagoon where he saw the saucer take off, he found a 9-meter circular nest like floating in the lagoon. So they called it was thick enough that you can see him sitting out on it right there. So it was thick enough that it could support your weight even over the water.
That's crazy that somebody was able to basically like sit on reeds on a body of water, and it's keeping them afloat.
So throughout the 70s and 80s, this idea of crop circles started getting more and more popular. They were almost exclusive to these southern counties in the UK called Wiltshire and Hampshire. So then during the 90s, the crop circles became more and more elaborate and intricate in design. Some of them gained international attention. This was like the peak of the crop circle phenomenon. This is when you start seeing them in America. Crop circles are basically they're like the punk rock music of paranormal phenomena. They started in the UK, and then by the 90s it came over to America, but it was just kind of shitty.
Almost like a crop dusting.
Yeah, crop circles like crop dusting. It peaked in the 90s. It was not. If you were crop dusting people in the early 2000s, that was not cool. And then decline in popularity. So then by the 2000s, crop circles stopped being cool.
Yeah, because they got crazy, and then M. Night Shyamalan came out with signs, and everybody's like, fuck this, I'm done. Thanks, M. Night Shyamalan, for ruining another Avatar Airbender movie. And then you had Mark Wahlberg in a movie? Come on.
Did he do that movie where everyone just started killing themselves? Because the grass started talking to him? God damn, we have to rewatch that one. The grass is talking. The grass is telling me to kill myself. I can't do it. I can't. Everyone's killing themselves. I just can't do it. I don't know what to do.
Actually, that's a pretty good Mark Wahlberg.
It's not a pretty good Mark Wahlberg. So that's the history of the crop circles. Let's go over a few notable examples. And the first one is what's called the Arecibo message. So in 1974, a group of Cornell scientists broadcasted an encrypted message towards the Hercules globular cluster. So this binary encoded message was sent from the Arecibo Observatory, which at the time was the largest radio telescope in the world. You may have seen it in, I think it was in First Contact. It was in the 007 movie with Sean Bean.
GoldenEye.
So the message was designed as a binary coded representation of basic information about humanity and Earth, with each bit representing a pixel in this rectangular grid. The top part is a legend. It stands for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The second part, it like details the human components of our DNA, and the top one that's highlighted is carbon, because we're a carbon-based life form. Then there's a depiction of our DNA strands. The little red guy, that's just supposed to be like a depiction of the human form. There's a little thing on the left, which is like, it's supposed to be like a measuring thing. It says that average human is around like 5'9", 5'10". That yellow one below it, that's the depiction of the solar system. So you can see Earth is the third planet from the sun. It's risen up to indicate that that's where we're from. And then the bottom is like an illustration of the Arecibo telescope.
Yeah, that's crazy, dude. It looks like a scarf that you would wear. Either a scarf or a condom.
A nerd brand condom. Can you imagine this being a condom? You gotta be packing some serious heat to get the full message, though. I barely have enough space in my cock to say, be sure to drink your Ovaltine. Okay, so we sent that out in 1974, right? And then in 2001, a crop circle appeared in Chilbolton, Hampshire, UK, that seemed to resemble a response to the Arecibo message.
That's fucking crazy, dude.
So it's similar in a lot of ways. The top element that's highlighted on the alien reply message has silicone as being the main component. You can see that their DNA strand has an extra strand in it. The bodily depiction obviously resembles an alien instead of a human. And then you can see the illustration for the solar system. They have two risen planets and then like some third structure, which would indicate that maybe the civilization spans multiple planets and then maybe even some sort of like large space station. And then at the very bottom, you can see they have a depiction of something, right? In the human message, it was a depiction of the satellite that broadcast the signal. In the alien response, you see this like weird kind of geometric pattern, which matches a different crop circle that had appeared in a nearby field like a year earlier. So the thing, maybe crop circles is like, that's like a, maybe that's how
to communicate.
Yeah, it's like a satellite.
What's the alien rank on the height scale?
Oh, I think it actually put him somewhere around the same height.
Oh shit, man.
Which is terrifying to think of. I really prefer to think of these guys as being smaller.
As little guys. Yeah, like little grays instead of fucking LeBron James grays coming at you, dude. The scientists should have made the dude hung a little bigger, though.
Just like with a huge, just like a big pixel cock line. We should have just lied. We should have just been like, yeah, all humans are 6'5" average with 9-inch cocks, and we can fuck for like hours. Just a mess of pixels trying to describe all of that.
All we wanted to know if we could come and help share our knowledge of immortality with them, and they're just bragging about their dicks.
Yeah. And that's when we get their message response, and it's like, well, we're actually 7 foot tall, and we have 10-inch fucking cocks, and we fuck for fucking hours.
And we got 2 of them.
and we love white women. Like, lock the borders. Close the sky border. Close the sky border now. All right, next up is the Oliver's Castle footage. So in 1996, there was this man by the name of John Whaley, and he claimed to have captured on video the creation of a crop circle. Before we watch it, we'll say it's worth noting that countless video experts have examined this footage and concluded that it must either be real or constructed by a team of experts.
This is amazing.
That says it's debunked. Ooh.
Who says it's debunked? Oh,
look it up there.
The intelligentsia of Reddit. Okay. Here's why I think this is fake.
Here, before you tell me, I want to tell you why I think.
Okay, you're gonna debunk this. Okay.
See how you see 2 of them chasing? Mm-hmm. Supposedly, people were saying that was like it was like glass behind it or something like that, and like they were shining like a laser light through this glass to make it trace it.
Oh yeah, that's like a Disney effect, right? I always see stuff like that.
Yeah, they call it. Oh man, it's in the Haunted Mansion. What do you think it is? Go for it. I'm ready.
All right, so here's what I think. All right, so let's say you're the cameraman, right? And you're looking out over this field. Now, the first thing that's suspicious to me is that before the crop circle even appears, the camera angle is like dead center on the crop circle.
Perfect. Right to where it needs to be.
Right, and if you're just watching this field and you see 2 balls of light come into frame, you would follow the light with your camera. But if you watch it, you'll see that he never
moves.
He never moves.
Yeah, because wouldn't you want to zoom in on those balls of light to see if you could see little fucking Kodos and Kang waving at you while they're flying?
CJ, it appears we've made it the part of the video where it's time to go over the theories. So, of course, unsurprisingly, theory number 1 is it's a hoax.
Yeah, of course.
So in 1991, a British newspaper ran a story with the headline, "Men Who Conned the World," referring to Doug Bauer and Dave Chorley. So these 2 retirees in their 60s, they confessed to initiating the crop circle phenomenon in 1978. And their idea reportedly originated during a night of drinking, and they had heard about the Tully nest, and they went out and using only rope and a plank of wood, they began creating these crop circles in the fields of Wiltshire, England. Initially, their designs were super simple and crude, but as they continued their activities, they evolved into more intricate and elaborate formations.
I said, why don't we put a circular depression in this cornfield, the same as they had out in Australia? I said, the UFO Society here, which was at its height at the time, Warminster especially, I said, they will probably think that it is a UFO that had landed.
So here are some problems with the hoax theory. So first off, Doug and Dave's story has changed over time. They can never agree on what year they actually started doing the crop circles. They initially said 1978, and then they found some crop circles that predated 78, and so they changed their answer to like 75.
Oh, yeah,
they're like, actually, we started a few years earlier. They also claim that they're the only ones that had created crop circles through the 70s and 80s. So that's over 1,500 crop circles that they're taking responsibility for across 23 different countries.
That's a lot of time on these guys' hands.
Their knowledge of the crop circles is like super surface level, and it could be gleaned just from reading like a book about them or just visiting them. So they can never really produce anything like intimate insider knowledge on a crop circle. When I say intimate knowledge, I mean I don't really know what an intimate Like,
yeah.
like the bra size of a crop circle. I don't really know. They claim to have created this really famous crop circle called the cheese foot head crop circle. That crop circle infamously didn't have any footpaths leading into it. And so when they asked them about it, they're like, so how did you make that crop circle without the footpaths? They said, oh, actually we pole vaulted into the field. You're telling me these two dudes are pole vaulting into fields to make crop circles? So these stalks of wheat, you can see they have these little like knuckles in them, and on some of them they're bent, right? The boards would leave marks on the wheat, but on some crop circles they're not bent. You can see how they're almost like blown out at the knuckle, and the only way you could do that is with through heat or radiation. So how would you do this with a plank of wood?
The secret, they say, is flattening the corn halfway up the stem, which gives a different effect to merely trampling on it. Colin Andrews, who studied them for years, was convinced that this was not like the others.
Straight away we can see this is everything we would ever see with a hoax. The plants are broken, they are rough, the grain is on the floor, there's no symmetry here whatsoever. It's extremely ragged.
So it's possible they may have contrived this story to claim a $10,000 prize from the Sunday Mirror. So they had put out a $10,000 prize for any explanation for the crop circle or any evidence that leads to an explanation of the crop circle. So some people suspect that they just totally contrived the story so they can get that $10,000 prize.
In it for the money.
So that brings us to theory number 2, ley lines. I don't really know that much about ley lines. We could probably do an entire episode just on ley lines, and it's probably going to keep coming up as explanations for various paranormal activity. So the ley line theory was first detailed in Alfred Watkins' book, The Old Straight Track, and the theory points out that many of these phenomena across England take place either in line or in exact angles of each other, even when separated by miles. And it's believed that crop circles are the direct result of the stored energy underneath the earth. So it occasionally boils over and bursts out, causing the earth above it to be affected and effectively creating these crop circles.
So I have heard of this. It is the main theme in the 2016 Ghostbusters movie.
Wait, what?
The female cast.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So if you want to learn about ley lines, you can either read Alfred Watkins' book, The Old Straight Track, or you can watch the 2016 female Ghostbusters movie.
The one that everybody hates.
So yeah, that's ley line theory. It's very witchy. You know, it's not alien related. It's spiritual. Yep. Yeah. So ghosts, I guess, are ghosts creating crop circles?
Trying to signify that ghosts have 12-inch dongs.
That's everything.
Yep.
All the crop circles is just various paranormal life forms trying to communicate to humanity how big their cocks are.
They've been hunting us down for years, and every person that they hunted down had a big dong.
They're killing all our. They're trying to hurt our average. They're killing our biggest cocked men. They're trying to bring the national average down.
Dude, it's a whole conspiracy theory about how aliens are trying to bring our down. So they're abducting everybody that has the bigger dongs, right? So they abduct them and they bring them up and they're like, you're a part of our culture now.
You belong to, they're just recruiting them on their side. It's like a draft.
It's a draft.
We just upped our average. Like, God damn it, they got Shaquille O'Neal. God, we're never going to recover from this.
These knee slappers are going. This is going to trigger at least 4 furry schizos.
The schizophrenic furries are not going to like this bit at all. Theory number 3, electromagnetic fields. Now,
like magnets and shit?
Yeah, like magnets and shit. The electromagnetic field theory suggests that mysterious shifts in magnetic fields on Earth gives rise to a current that electrocutes the crops, forcing them to lie flat on the ground. A crop circle investigator by the name of Andrew Collins took a magnetometer reading and found increases in the Earth's magnetic field by approximately 120%.
Oh shit.
All right, so the electromagnetic theory is like kissing cousins with this other theory called the plasma vortex theory, which is too complicated for me to explain, so we're going to have this guy explain it for us.
According to Levengood's theory, radiation from space and energy from the sun bombard the Earth's ionosphere. These energies can organize into something similar in shape to a smoke ring, which is then pulled through the atmosphere by gravity. As it is pulled down, this vortex is compressed by the Earth's magnetic field. Its energies intensify, it becomes more unstable, and it sprouts smaller offshoots. Finally, upon their impact with the Earth, the energy turns into a heat similar to that of a microwave oven. Dr. Levengood theorizes that this heat softens the nodes of the plants, causing them to collapse under their own weight and create the pattern formations.
These seem to be very pervasive, and if they get more and more pervasive, there will be people interested, believe me.
That guy's got a righteous fucking beard, dude.
Dude, he could be. This guy might not be a scientist. He might just be like an old Amish guy. Theory number 4, Gaia. So the Gaia theory claims that Earth is a conscious, intelligent object which is communicating with its inhabitants via crop circles. The crop circles may be a way for nature to redirect our focus back to the environment where it used to be in the pre-technological eras. This might explain why the designs continually appear in plants that are meant to be harvested for food, as the message is meant to remind us to pay attention to that which sustains life.
Dude.
So, listen, we're exploring all the theories here, okay? And it's possible that crop circles are Earth's way of wagging its finger at us. I also call this the nagging wife theory. to be like a farmer and you get like a call from one of your boys like, dude, we're thinking about heading out. We're going to go into the city. We're going to hit up the strip club, man. It's going to be a blast. And the farmer's like, yeah, sure. Maybe I think that'd be good. He looks out the window and sees a crop circle. Says like, don't even think about it, Buster. He's like, oh, sorry guys. I can't go out tonight. Sorry. Go.
My circle said nah.
Theory number 5.
UFOs.
UFO. Some believe that crop circles are messages written in fields by some sort of energy beam on board a UFO, either charting a course for themselves and others to view, or are they attempting to communicate with mankind for some reason. The heat of the energy beam could explain the unique bending, and the heating of the crops and the hovering spacecraft could explain the lack of footpaths around crop circles, as well as the odd sights and sounds that witnesses have reported. So yeah, that's really there's not a ton of evidence in the UFO theory, but this is like the standard kind of theory. So it's communication by aliens by way of some sort of like energy beam that's lying the crops down gently. And so it's either like navigation landmarks to themselves.
Just say don't land here.
Yeah, we know how like hobos leave like little symbols to each other as they're like moving around.
No
like,
shit. Nope, did not know that.
Oh yeah. So they'll leave like if someone's really kind and they give food to hobos, they'll like put a little. There's like a symbol for that, and they'll put it somewhere on the property so other hobos know that the person living there is like nice or not nice or
hung or not hung.
Hung or not hung. The hobos are working with the aliens. They're marking our most hung men so they can get abducted by aliens to bring the national average down. Sir, this is a schizophrenic furry convention that we do not appreciate you bringing that kind of nonsense here, okay? We're here to have a personal fucking meltdown over what we think happened in the Titanic. So you can't be coming in here talking about how you think hobos are coordinating with aliens to steal our most hung men to bring the national average down, okay? Hoax, ley lines, magnets, Mother Earth, or UFOs? Which theory do you decide?
All right, for hoax, I don't think it's just those two guys that were taking crap for it. I think they were trying to take crap for all these because they just wanted to be famous. And then theory number 2 with ley lines, I don't know, that to me is like, that's pulling at like, that sits with Gaia, right? That's like, it's a message from a power that is here, which to me, I don't know. I don't think that it's any sort of communication, but I would say personally, I don't think it would be, for this instance, ley lines or Gaia. And then UFOs, why would like an alien come all the way from far away to be like, let me mark this on the planet, and then just be like, all right, peace out, Girl Scouts, gone. Magnets, that's the one that actually is very interesting to me. Think of all like the ozone and how it's different now because of all the things happening, pollution and shit. Maybe it's letting in some of those harsher rays, like it's getting so superheated that the joints are bending. That's the one that I would like to I lean on. I think I'm gonna lean on the most is the magnets theory.
So I do have one last thing, one last food for thought. Let's talk about Operation Blackbird. Now, I'm curious if you've heard of this, CJ. So, Operation Blackbird was a 3-week-long surveillance operation with the goal of filming a crop circle form in real time. The operation was led by prominent crop circle researcher Colin Andrews and Pat Delgado. It was sponsored by the BBC, and then randomly Japanese national TV was there too. And the whole thing was assisted by the British government. So this was like a major news event that was being broadcast daily to millions of viewers. On the second day of this operation, a crop circle was formed. But it was a hoax. So the design was incredibly crude, and at the center of the crop circle, they found a Ouija board. So Colin Andrews and Pat Delgado, these crop circle enthusiasts, along with crop circle enthusiasts everywhere, were just like completely humiliated on live television.
I've heard of this.
You remember this?
I do.
So
I remember hearing about this.
So this was like this was basically like the last nail in the coffin for the legitimacy of crop circle investigation. Dave Chorley and Doug Bauer came out like a year after this, so that was like the 1-2 hit combo. And after this, it was like crop circle investigation was just a complete joke.
It's done.
Now here's the thing. So if the field was blocked off by British government, right? They had this thing locked down. There was multiple camera crews. The whole thing was like under lock and watch by the British government. How do they miss a group coming into the field, carving a crop circle, leaving a game board in the middle, and then exiting? Colin Andrews, he made the announcement that a crop circle had been formed in the middle of the night because that's what the British government told him. And it wasn't until the next morning that he went out to investigate that he found out it was a hoax, but by then it was already too late. Colin Andrews is like determined that the whole thing was a setup and that the British government didn't have an answer. And so they basically...
They did this.
They did this just to completely delegitimize, just so that there was like any kind of answer at all.
So it could be one of those things that the British government is like, one, we need to stop these assholes from coming in and saying that we have fucking aliens here.
Yeah, dude, I kind of think that's what it was. Is that like, I think they think it's fake, and they felt embarrassed that they didn't have like an answer for this growing phenomenon.
Or they didn't want to give an answer to.
It's worth noting that during this whole Operation Blackbird, in another field a few miles away, they were conducting simultaneously like an identical experiment, only it wasn't being broadcast publicly. So they locked down a second field miles away and put a bunch of camera and like surveillance equipment on it. They just didn't tell the public about it. And apparently there's like some crazy footage from that session, but it's all classified.
Cool.
Yeah.
See? What is it? The misdirection, like a magician's misdirection, right? How crazy would that be? That they've been setting up this play date with the fucking aliens all this time, and they're like, oh, well, we got to get them off our trail.
So I don't know, makes you think. So
Makes you think.
So you might know a lot, but you don't know everything. Unless, of course, you are a schizophrenic furry, in which case you've got it all figured out. So don't bother going into our Discord and ripping me a new one over my use of AI art in the thumbnail.
Oh my god. We should do AI art in everything now.
I'm gonna do AI art. What do you think? I'm gonna sit down and like hand paint the fucking thumbnails?
That's what art's gonna become now. So get ready, motherfuckers.
You're not gonna be wagging your finger at AI art when it's churning out your has-been hotel rule 34. Okay.
Rule 34.
You fucking weirdo.